Poem 14 of Mian Shen from 170 Chinese poems. Now we have 14 says, the years of a lifetime do not reach 100. Years of a lifetime do not reach 100. Yet they contain 1,000 years of sorrow. My goodness, you were saying they have a lot of sorrow. I don't know what happened in this year. When the days are short and the dull nights long, why not take a lamp and wander forth? If you want to be happy, you must do it now. There is no waiting till an aftertime. The fool who's loot to spend the wealth he's got becomes the laughingstock of after ages. It is true that Master Wang became immortal, but how can we hope to share his lot? It's like the prior poem, he said you should love the living and you should give up on the duped by strange drugs. He's telling you to drink some good wine. Well, I don't know. Anyways, we continue with poem 15. Cold, cold, the year draws to its end. The crickets and grasshoppers make a doleful chirping. The chill wind increases its violence. My wandering love has no coat to cover him. He gave his embroidered furs to the lady of Lu. But for me, his bedfellow, he is quite estranged, sleeping alone in the depth of the long night. In a dream, I thought I saw the light of his face, my dear. One thought of our old joys together. He came in his chariot and gave me the front reins. I wanted so to prolong our play and laughter, to hold his hand and go back with him in his coach. But when he had come, he would not stay long, nor stop to go with me in the inner chamber. Truly, without the falcon's wings to carry me, how can I rival the flying wind's swiftness? I go and lean at the gate and think of my grief. My falling tears wet the double gates. My goodness.
Same, but the same. Very modern they sound.
Modern.
They sound like they wrote them now.
They sound like modern Chinese. Chinese haven't changed much.
Modern European also. Modern everywhere. That's modern.
They sound modern.
Yeah. It's like, it could be like anybody's poem.
Yeah, it'd be funny if you post this and say Chinese poem and then say guess what year it is. So some of these you could guess. The other poem sounds current. But anyway, 16, at the beginning of winter, a cold spirit comes, the north wind blows, chill, chill. My sorrows being many, I know the length of the nights. Raising my head, I look at the stars in their places. On the 15th day, the bright moon is full. On the 20th day, the toad and hare wane. The waning of the moon symbolizes the waning of the lover's affection. A stranger came to me from a distant land and brought me a single scroll with writing on it. At the top of the scroll was written, do not forget. At the bottom was written, goodbye forever. I put the letter away in the folds of my dress. For 3 years the writing did not fade. How with an undivided heart I loved you. I fear that you will never know or guess. Wow, this.
It was a secret love, eh?
Now your letter says do not forget, then it says goodbye forever. Oh my God.
It's interesting, huh? Interesting a few words.
Anyways, we don't know what's happening here. Here's the 17th poem of the 17 poems. 17 poems of Mansion. The bright moon, oh how white it shines, shines down on the gauze curtains of my bed. Racked by sorrow, I toss and cannot sleep. Picking up my clothes, I wander up and down. My absent love says that he is happy, but I would rather he said he was coming back. Out in the courtyard I stand hesitating alone. To whom can I tell the sad thoughts I think? Staring before me, I enter my room again. Falling tears wet my mantle and robe.
That's why they have those big sleeves on the Chinese.
Big
The
sleeves.
Japanese.
Well, we can go on now to a new set of poems.
I remember as children we used to use our sleeves for our nose.
We have a poem by Wu Ti, W-U-T-I, 157 to 87 BC. He came to the throne when he was, sixth emperor, Han. In this poem, he regrets that he's obliged to go on an official journey, leaving his mistress behind in the capital. He's seated in his state barge surrounded by his ministers. This is the emperor's poem. Autumn wind rises, white clouds fly, grass and trees wither, goose go south, orchids all in bloom, chrysanthemums smell sweet. I think of my lovely lady. I never can forget floating pagoda boats crosses Fen River. Across the midstream, white waves rise, flute and drum keep time to sound the rower's song, amidst revel and feasting, sad thoughts come. Youth's years, how few, age, how sure. Now we have, this poem is written by Wu Tu also, when his mistress died or something. Goodness. It says, the sound of her silk skirt has stopped. On the marble pavement dusk grows. Her empty room is cold and still. Fallen leaves are piled against the doors, longing for that lovely lady. How can I bring my aching heart to rest?
Seems like that woman.
I like the women, huh? Well, we have, not every poem is mystical, like we've been reading a bunch of mystics. The sound of snow white heads.
Or to love somebody, it's mystic still. It's mysticism. Love. God is love, they say.
Yeah, the song of snow white heads. Shuma Huxian Ji was a young poet who lost his position at court. One day, Chu Wan Chung, a rich man's daughter, heard him singing at a feast given by her father. She eloped with him that night, and they set up a wine shop together. After a time, Wu Shu became famous as a poet, but his character was marred by love of money. He sold love poems, which the ladies of the palace sent to the emperor in order to win his favor. Finally, he gave presents to the ladies of Muling, hoping to secure a concubine. It was this step that induced his mistress, Chu Wencheng, to write the following poem. It seems this is written by this poet's mistress. Oh my goodness. It's not even him. It says, our love was pure as the snow on the mountains, white as a moon between the clouds. You're telling me your thoughts are double. That's why I've come to break it off. Today, we'll drink a cup of wine. Tomorrow, we'll part beside the canal. Walking about beside the canal, where its branches divide east and west, alas and alas, and again alas, so must a girl cry when she's married. If she find not a man of single heart, who will not leave her till her hair is white? So these girls who don't get a faithful husband are unhappy.
They want to be the only ones.
Now this guy is written by General Suwu, circa 100 BC. It's written to his wife. So let's see what he says. Since our hair was plaited and we became man and wife, the love between us has never broken by doubt. So let us be merry this night together, feasting and playing while the good times last. Suddenly remember the distance that I must travel. I spring from bed and look out to see the time. Stars and planets are all grown dim in the sky. Long, long is the road. I cannot stay. I am going on service away to the battleground. I do not know when I shall come back. I hold your hand with only a deep sigh. Afterwards, tears in the days when we are parted. With all your might, enjoy the spring flowers. But do not forget the time of our love and pride. Know that if I live, I will come back again. And if I die, we will go on thinking of each other. We're going to keep thinking after he dies. He's a general going to war, I guess.
You have to believe in a continuity.
Here we have Li Ling parting from Su Wu. The time will never come back again. In a moment our parting will be over. Anxiously we halt at the roadside. Hesitating we embrace where the fields begin. The clouds above are floating across the sky, swiftly passing or blending together. The waves in the wind lose their fixed place and are rolled away, each to a corner of heaven. From now onwards, long must be our parting. So let us stop again for a little while. I wish I could ride on the wings of the morning wind and go with you right to your journey's end. Lin Ling and Su Wu were both prisoners in the land of the Huns, and after 19 years, Su Wu was released. Li Ling would not go back with him. When invited to do so, he got up and danced, singing, I came 10,000 leagues across sandy deserts in the service of my prince to break the Hun tribes. My way was blocked and barred, my arrows and sword broken. My armies had faded away, my reputation had gone. My old mother is long dead, although I want to requite my prince, how can I return?
Interesting, huh?
It's interesting. We don't know what we're encountering here. I think we'll have to find a poet we like from Japan, China.
They are all good. Who are we now? Each one poet we listen.
We're jumping around now. We're still reading old poems. It's a collection of 170 Chinese poems from Gutenberg. And we're still pretty old here. It's BC. We're exploring Chinese poetry. After we had gone to Japan, we went to China. They seem to care about the moon and love. But we found a couple poems to post, right? Poem 12. All right, I'm going to stop.